What is good in the hood? What are you fucking doing, bro? Alright, for anyone who have watched the previous three videos, please act as if nothing happened, okay? I didn't upload those videos, nothing happened, because, listen, I'm gonna explain myself in the future, okay? I'm gonna make specific I'm gonna make videos specifically for what happened, but right now, I'm honestly going through some insane personal development and I'm discovering a lot of shit about myself. So I have no shame in uploading those videos, but I'm going two steps backwards. I'm going to take what I did and I'm going to take it back and, start again. Okay? So I'm going to have to re record this video because of what I fucking did, right? Let's begin. We're building a system that will allow humans to take actions, reduce friction, and achieve our goals, right? Because the thing that alters reality is actions, right? So in the previous video, I discussed the goal breakdown. We broke down the goal, we broke down exactly what I need to do, why do I want to goal, when am I going to achieve it, where am I going to achieve it, and how am I going to achieve it, right? We've established KPIs and Polaris, which is our North Star, and how we're going to know that we are progressing towards the goal, right? That was in the previous episode. In this episode, I want to share with you how to build a character and how to reprogram your mind, reprogram your psychology so that you can achieve the goal that you want. Okay? Because more often than not, if you are not taking action, it's mostly because beliefs, characters, and the things that I'm going to show you here. Okay, so this is actually the most powerful thing that I have learned over the past couple of years, because the second I started applying this shit, I've succeeded in pretty much every single goal I've set. I have 100% success rate so far, simply because of this, at least for me, right? So let's begin. Here's what you need to do. Okay, the reason to why you don't have the goal that you have right now is because you are not the person who deserves to have that goal, right? So in life, there are people who have what you want, right? And for you to get the goal, you need to become the person who deserves to have that goal, right? And to do that, you need to look at those who have the goal, and then you define the habits they have, you define the character traits they have, their belief systems, and those three. And then you adopt those three and take action in that direction. And the skills as well. Yep, I think I didn't mention skills. So habits, skills, character traits, and beliefs. Okay? So this is exactly what I did. So for somebody, right, who is consistent and who have a very strong action system, right? Someone who takes action consistently so that he can achieve this goal. What does that character look like? Who is that person? What does he do exactly? And how can I become that character, right? So let me give you a brief walkthrough through the character that I have built and the character that I am becoming, okay? So the habits that you need to have, right, are these ones, or that I need to develop so that I can grow into someone who is consistent. It's habit tracking, and tracking. This is the most important one. If you don't track your habits, it's impossible to improve them. If you don't track your action, it's impossible for you to know if you took action or not. Because if I ask you this, right, what did you eat 17 days ago at lunchtime? Right, you don't remember. It's impossible. No one doesn't remember that. And this is the problem with a human memory, right? We think that we have a strong memory, but we actually don't. So if you are relying on your memory and your emotions to know if you are progressing towards the goal, you are in for some big trouble, okay? You need to track it and you need to write it down and you need to be able to look at it and know exactly if you're progressing or not. I can actually show you an example of me doing this, right? So if we go here, we go to here, actions, here. Look. So currently I am tracking my habits and the exact black and white actions I took, right? So if I took an action, I simply take it off right here. If I didn't take the action, I put X, okay? And so far I'm on a win streak. So far I'm on a fucking win streak, and I'm climbing very well. Okay, so this is habit tracking. Basically, then after you track your habits, you then have a metric, right? We established this in the goal breakdown, where we uh, we have a score 1 out of 100, right? And then that score tells us basically how good we're doing and how good is our system. With this score, then you're going to have an average, right? After 30 days, you're going to have an average, and it's the average that you want to look at. It's not the high, it's not the good days that you want to look at, it's not the bad days that you want to look at, but the average, right? Average is the only thing that matters. If you spend, let's say, if you have like a big win, right? But then you have like a big loss, then the average is in between. It's not the wins that defines you or your losses, it's what's in between, okay? So this is what we are aiming for. We want to have an average of 95% success rate over 180 days. So this is how I'm going to know that my action system is working. It's when I'm following my plan at least 95% over 180 days. If I don't do this for 180 days, this project has been a failure. Okay? That's the goal right there. A lot of people say, well, no, that's being too unrealistic. That's being too perfectionist, right? Fuck you, bro. I'm never, and I will never set for the average. And my goal is to become a fucking millionaire, bro. I want to make millions of dollars. My goal is to become rich. That's, guess what? That's not average either. That's not realistic either, right? So whenever I set a big goal like this, a lot of people will tell me that, it's not realistic. You should not be pursuing something unrealistic because you're going to fail. Fuck you, bro. It's just cause and effect and problem solving. If I am unable to achieve this shit, it's because there is a problem that I need to solve, and I need to identify that problem, locate it, fix it, and improve the system. It's as simple as that. It's not that deep. Of course it's achievable. Of course it's achievable to have 95% of a plan, right? Follow your plan 95% over 180 days, right? And then it's going to become like automatic behavior habits, right? So I have to track that, right? So for now, as you can see, the average right here is probably around like 80 or some shit, 85 maybe, and I need to improve it, right? So we're going to get to 90%. This is obviously not a good representative of that, not a good representation of data because we only have a small number. But either way, I'm gonna run the test for 30 days, and then another 30 days, and then another 180 days, etc., until we reach that. But like I said, we can't do that if we are not tracking our habits, right? So self-engineering is this document that I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to walk you through all of this in a second, right? And then obviously these are the habits that I want to develop, right? These are the things that I'm working on and the things that I want to improve on. So these are the habits. Now let's go over the character traits. Discipline, predictability, grateful, present, energized, humble. And basically you look at the goal that you want, and then you imagine the person who had this goal, right? Or you ask a real person. It's better to ask a real person. But basically you look at the real person who have this goal, and what are the character traits that they have? List them out. And this is the most powerful one here, the beliefs. The fucking beliefs, bro. Oh my days. If you. Yo, this is gonna sound so retarded. If you believe that something is true, it will become true. Because when you believe in something, that's when you act on it, and that's when reality changes. It starts with the belief. Now, this doesn't mean if you believe like something stupid, and like if you believe in something and then you don't act on it, then its reality will not change, right? So we need the action and the beliefs. But it starts with the belief, right? So if you believe that taking action is hard, you're not going to take action. If you believe taking action is difficult, you're not going to take action. If you believe deep work is draining and tiring, you're not going to do deep work. If you believe that delayed gratification activities are painful right now, you're not going to fucking do them. So what you want to do, right, is that you want to list the domain-based beliefs. What do you believe to be true about the thing in question, okay? And then you look at the identity-based beliefs. What do you believe to be true about yourself in this domain, right? So for me, with taking action and with habits and shit like that, these were the beliefs that I held before addressing them, right? These are the things I used to tell myself, And then these are the identity beliefs that I used to tell myself as well. I used to say that I'm a person who goes through massive highs and lows, and I'm never able to hold like consistency. That was a fucking belief that I held. I can't maintain progress. I can't stay consistent. I'm not an exercise guy. I'm not a physical guy. Look at this shit. I can't stick to one thing. I used to say this to myself, right? So what do you think is gonna happen? When you say this, when you have like beliefs like these about yourself, of course you're not gonna fucking act on them. So what you do is that you define the evolved beliefs, and this is very simple. You simply just reverse it. So instead of saying, right, taking action is hard, or taking action is difficult, you reverse it. You say taking action is hard in the first 2 minutes. And then, or you say difficulty is an illusion. It's not difficult. You say that it's difficult, and that's when it becomes difficult, you know? Deep work is my flow state, and it's when I feel alive. Instead of saying deep work is draining and tiring. Say it's a flow state. Say you enjoy it, you have fun in it, and your perception, your entire way, your entire paradigm of seeing the things, your entire way of seeing this thing changes. Literally starts. It starts with the conscious effort. By the way, boys, look, I bought a new mic, new lighting and shit, bro. Living the fucking YouTuber dream, I swear to God. Anyway, if your perception can change about something if you start with the conscious effort to change it. So at first, you may believe that it's difficult or it's hard or it's bad or you don't like it or whatever. But as you start telling to yourself consciously, making the effort to consciously say, no, 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 I like this thing. No, this is my favorite thing to do. This is my favorite part of the day. I love doing this shit, right? Then your brain automatically starts picking on that habit and you starts loving it. It starts building the illusion that you actually love doing this thing, even though previously you hated it, It all starts with the conscious beliefs, Same thing with the identity ones, right? You build an identity and you say to yourself, I am this kind of person, okay? Then for me, right, defining the skills. So you define the skills that you need to be able to achieve this goal. So for me, it's self-control, directing the body and the mind towards the desired goal that I fucking want. Planning and adapting. Create the future plans based on the observations and empirical truths, right? Attention and focus. Doing one thing for long hours and with focus. For long, yeah, you know what? For long time, for long periods. Wait, doing things, attention and focus. Uh, Actually, I'll change it. I'll add another one here. I'll say, no, no, no. I already have it. It's stoicism. So this is attention and focus on the short term, right? So when I sit down to read a book or when I sit down to do deep work, I want to do this one thing and this one thing only. I don't want to do anything else, right? Reward and relaxation, giving the body what it wants and conditioning it, right? Conditioning it. Energy management, awareness, understanding, and control of energy levels mentally and physically. So this is what I'm currently working on, right? The reason why I uploaded those 3 videos for those who saw them is because I am shit at my energy management. So I have some fucked up, messed up psychological desires and psychological energy. I need to learn how to channel that into my work and into this business, right? And this is a very, very tough skill. You guys have no clue how fucking hard it is, right? But I'm working there. I'm working towards that goal, and I'm gonna get it, right? I'm gonna get it. So let's go. So here, stoicism is the same thing as attention and focus, but over the long run. So when I set a fucking goal and I say I'm gonna achieve this goal, I do not fucking quit halfway through, or I don't break my standards halfway through, or I don't change my mind halfway through. Stick to this shit, no matter how much pressure you have, and no matter how much emotions you're feeling. Stick to it and finish, right? And then you build a manifesto. So a manifesto is basically a description, you describing this character on third person. Who is this person, right? You literally mythologizing yourself, right? You're building like a vision, a character with such great fucking details. But the more details you add, the better, right? So this is the manifesto that I wrote. You can pause and read it if you want. And this is the character that I am becoming, right? So if you want, you have to follow these exercises that I'm giving you here. And I'm going to show you how to practically apply this shit, okay? After you write down the manifesto, now you want to define your oscillations. Now, honestly, this is a big fucking fat topic. This one, the oscillations and the beliefs are two big, big fucking topics that if you want me, I can make it like a full on 2 hours videos for each one of these. But basically, you see in life, right? We go through highs and lows, right? In life, we go through highs and lows. You have a version of yourself that wants to achieve the goal, and you have another version of yourself that wants to stay where you are, right? You have the good and the bad. You have the evil and the good, right? The bad version of you wants you to stay where you are. It wants to survive, and then you have the good version of you that wants to evolve and wants to improve. Okay, and these two characters are in war with each other, and this manifests in your behavior. Okay, so with your actions, right, day to day, you go through highs and lows, right? Honestly, it's a very big topic. Basically at the end of the day, right? So in short, right, you go through highs and lows. Okay, there is an average line in between, and you want to improve the low point. If you improve the lowest side of the equation, right, that's when the high goes up. If you improve the high, you will inevitably drop, right, and you will go back to square one every single time. So what you do is that you improve the bad side first, and then you improve the good side. Okay, again, if you want me to make a full-on like 1 hour guide explaining this whole idea, I can do it. Okay, so you identify your oscillations about all areas of life, right? What are the oscillations that you have about all the areas in your life? And then you improve the lowest point. You say to yourself, okay, this is the lowest I've been. So for example, my previous oscillations, the lowest point here with self-engineering was that I wouldn't even do the affirmation. So here it was like zero, right? And then here I had like affirmations, right? Where I do like the full-on I read this document, right? For the affirmation, so then I improved it and I made it so that instead of zero or like not doing anything, now I said to myself, okay, the lowest point, no matter how bad the fucking day is, no matter how sad or depressed I am, at least the least minimum thing I will do is the affirmations, which literally doesn't even take like 30 seconds, right? Or like 1 minute or 2 minutes to do, right? And then on the good days, I'm gonna do like the full document where I read the entire fucking document, right? Same thing with meditation. I said on the bad, worst fucking day of my life, I will never miss 3 minutes of meditation, right? And the high days, on the good days, it's going to be 15 minutes, right? So, again, same shit, right? Gratitude, your sleep, deep work, learning, savings, etc. Your looks and hygiene, exercise, diet, games, and porn, right? So here I said to myself, I can fab, right? So this is a good example to actually show this, right? So let's say the bad point, right, is fapping, right, or like playing video games. To improve that, to improve the low point, right? So the high point is you never doing the habit, right? The low point is you doing the habit. So what you do to improve the low point, you say to yourself, okay, I can play the video game. And let's say the worst you ever do, right? Your lowest point is playing for like 10 hours a day, every day for a week, right? To improve the low points, you say to yourself, okay, I can play video games, I can go down, but I'm not allowed to play 10 hours a day for 2 weeks. I can play 10 hours a day for 10 days in a row, or like for 12 days in a row, but not 14 days. Do you see? Does that make sense? So instead of improving like the good side of like not playing the game, you improve the bad side of playing the game. So instead of playing for 14 hours, you play for 12, and then you play for 10, then you play for 8 hours, right? You see that improvement on the bad side, not on the good side. That's how you fucking do it. And then here you do the affirmations, right? So a mental movie is basically a scenario where you have achieved the goal, right? You write down the scenario, how do you feel, and you make it as detailed and colorful as possible, right? Visualization is how is your life day to day after you've achieved that goal, and who do you like, what do you do, with your life? And then affirmations is identity based statements that you say to yourself, I am X, I am this, I am this, I am this. And this is how you reinforce your mind to to accept this idea. And then this is the crazy thing, right? Once you do that, now you've put all that into a document. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that document looks like. um, let's see, where is it? Yeah, right here. Self-engineering, D3. You put it into a document, right? So these are the people that I want to be like, right? This character is the character that I want to grow into is a combination of these nine people, right? Hamza, my goat, my hero. This guy introduced me, to self-improvement and all of this shit. Donella Meadows, one of the greatest geniuses ever, who taught me, systems thinking and building this entire thing based on her ideas. Um Ymir, this character was stuck in eternity doing the same things over and over and over again. David Goggins, discipline, do the same shit over and over again, no matter how bad your life is, no matter how sad you are, no matter how depressed you are, no matter if you are in the worst fucking position ever. Wake up, gotta get after it. Doesn't fucking matter. Darwin discovered the theory of evolution, how you gotta adapt if you wanna survive. Albert Camus with his philosophy of absurdism. Sometimes you get like into nihilism and you're thinking to yourself, bro, this is so fucking absurd. This is so useless. This is so. There's no point in anything, right? This guy came up with a philosophy that said, even then, even on those days, we can still smile and we can still be happy regardless. It doesn't matter if there is purpose or not. It doesn't like purpose doesn't fucking matter. Look up at the sky and smile at the face of this cold universe. Nothing matters. Just smile regardless and put in effort regardless. Right? My goat, awesome. This is one of my best friends. We don't talk to each other anymore because we went through we went on two different paths. But this guy always used to tell me, relax, bro, relax. Like stop being so extreme and stop burning out. So I used to put myself through such extreme position to where I would end up burning out. And this guy will tell me like, relax, recharge your energy, and then come back. But I'd never listen to him. And now I want to adopt some of that mindset, right? And Aristotle, who talks about observations and learning from uh, basically you observe the real fucking world and you look at like what's universal, what is happening, and build your knowledge on top of that, right? And Isagi, adaptation, and my favorite fucking character of all time. So I'm gonna go through it briefly, right? I'm gonna go through this document briefly and how to do it, okay? So here, self-engineering, you put on like the instructions, you put the date you created this. I'm gonna show you how this shit fucking works, right? I'm not speaking out of my ass here. I actually applied this and I got real fucking results, right? So this is version 3. Not even version 3. This is version 3.3. As you can see, it's written there, right? I've built different versions before, right? And I achieved the fucking results. So here, if you go here into version 1, was the default state that I was in before starting this change, right? And then I've built version 2 to be able to succeed in my previous business, right? So as you can see, it's the same shit, right? I identified the character that I was, identified the character that I want to become, and I built a successful business. So I created the document and I wrote this, right? And when I wrote this, it was similar. Bro, I can't see, man. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, there you go. When I wrote this, right? It was like this. When I created this document at the first time, I wrote down just date like this, day, month, and year, right? I didn't know when the goal was going to be achieved. I just knew for a fact I will achieve this motherfucking goal. Guess what? I built it on the 16th of October 2024. Now, and I achieved it on the 29th of January 2025. Same shit. I did it over. Where is it? Bro, I can't see. I'm sorry, wait. Yeah, there you go. I have the camera, standing in the way of the thing. Same thing again. Look, I built the version 3.1, right? 3.1. I said to myself, listen, I'm going to get my paperwork. I'm going to fix this shit. I had problems with my paperwork, for like 3 years. For 3 years, I've been wanting to fix this shit. And then the second I built this fucking document, I succeeded. I built it on the 2nd of April, 2025. And I got my official fucking ID on the 7th of July, 2025. Right? So I literally started contacting lawyers. I started contacting like different agencies. I built this character, I became disciplined, and I got this shit. Same thing again. I said to myself, listen, I'm gonna build a character and I'm gonna get a fucking job. right? So 3.2 is very similar was to 3.1, you know. This one was about getting, you know, an ID, and this one was about getting a job, you know. Same shit. 13th of August, I wrote the shit. 19th of September, I got the fucking job. The success criteria was you're hired. This one was the success criteria was the official physical ID in your fucking hand. Same shit here. Now, I'm building it for this new character, right? No, this is 2.0, 3.3, right? So now the official success criteria is 6 months of positive, consistent, good behavior, right? Until I get this shit, until I get 6 months of scoring, you know, 95, like we said here, scoring 95 over 180 days, I did not succeed, right? Important things to remember. These are big lessons that I learned over the past couple of years, you know, and things that I learned from Sam Ovens. And this was kind of like a reminder to, you know, remind me of like these lessons so that I never forget them. Daily ritual. Basically, here you say to yourself, okay, this is what I'm gonna do every single day on a daily basis. You write them down and you write one, wake up, two, do this, three, do this, and this is on a high level, right? It's still not in the specifics, right? And then you build a long-term vision. So your mind needs to see this, it needs to believe it. So you see, for example, with porn, right? When you watch porn, your brain thinks this shit is real, right? Your brain doesn't know that you're not that you're a fucking virgin who is not actually fucking a girl, right? That's why you cannot because your brain thinks that it's fucking real. So you can apply that same principle here. You can apply the same fucking principles. You can convince your brain that you are this guy. And when your brain thinks that you're this guy, your body starts acting in that way. Your subconscious, your whole entire unconscious processes starts acting in this direction. Simply because you saw it and you said to yourself, I am this kind of person. I'm gonna show you in a minute how to make it actually real, right? Because just writing it down here and making the vision board is not enough. I'm gonna explain in a second how it works, right? And then you do that for your lifestyle. Who does this character, right, that you wrote down, how does he live his life? What does he do exactly? You know? What is your lifestyle look like? What is your day, your average day looks like? These are the things that I want to be doing. Reading, relaxing, reprogramming my mind, taking fucking action and doing the work, meditating, having a plan, you know, having like executing and shit, recording these videos as you can see, and eating, you know, good diet and shit, right? Identity, your work and health. So how do you work? How do you save your money? How's your health and shit, right? So hygiene, clean and classy, you know, have a scarce mindset. So here I need a little bit of scarcity, you know. I need to develop a mindset of like save the money, don't spend it, don't spend the money, right? Gratitude, good sleep, tracking my data, tracking my fucking income, tracking my money, tracking my health and shit, right? And having high standards, being cold to other people's emotions or to my emotions as well. Having zero emotions, eating a lot of fucking good food, you know, healthy food and shit. Your knowledge and science. How are you going to know these things? So again, theory of evolution and Aristotle, you know, applying the scientific method, learning about the different parts of the brain that are responsible for habits and improvement, you know, not improvement, responsible for habits and action taking. So the motor cortex and the basal ganglia, right? Tracking the habits, making observations, studying neuroscience, studying the scientific method and applying the shit. And here you write down your legacy to date. Legacy to date is basically this board right here shows you how success what evidence do you have to yourself that shows you this is actually possible. With each win you fucking have in life, you write it down here, and you it becomes like evidence, right, for yourself that this goal that you have is not an illusion. We are grounded in reality, and you only put in the actual achievement, by the way. So with these ones, right, this is like in the future, but you say it in the present tone, right? You say, I am X, I am this guy, I am this guy. And then your mind on some days will start telling you shit like, well, you're being delusional, you're being retarded, you're not actually going to achieve this. On those days, you counter that argument with this shit. You tell them, no, motherfucker, I'm not being delusional. Look, I achieved this in the real fucking world, right? When you say that to your brain instantly shuts the fuck up and stops being doubtful. When you say this to your brain, look, I made a bank account. I got my fucking paperwork. That's a goal that I've set in the past, and I achieved the fucking goal, right? This is not in my fucking head. Look, I built muscles. What are you talking about? I set the goal to build muscles, and I built fucking muscles. I've set the goal to walk for 100 kilometers, and I fucking did it. I've set the goal to get a job, I fucking did it. I set the goal to get Valhalla, and I fucking did it. I set the goal to build a successful business, and I fucking did it. I set the goal to build a successful YouTube channel, and I fucking did it. And I've set the goal to build systems for improvement, and I fucking did it. This is not in my head, motherfucker. This is in the real fucking world. So you plot out your fucking achievement, and you say, okay, look, you have done this in the past, you can do this one as well. And the boost of fucking confidence you get from this shit is unmatched. It's unmatched. And then you write down a story. So all of these are tricks you're playing on your mind, on your unconscious mind. So that when you're navigating the world, you know where to go, and you are going there consciously and unconsciously. So you write down the story of what happened in the past, right? And then you write down the story of the things that will happen in the future as if it already happened. Your brain you can't say shit to your brain as if you can't say, I want X. Because when you say, I want X, that means you are in a state of wanting. You are in a state of neediness, in a state of desperation. That means you still don't have that thing yet. But when you say, I am X, I have it right now, your brain literally changes and becomes that thing. This is why you have to plot it in your story. So these are actual things that happened, right? And then you plot this thing and you say, this already happened. This already fucking happened. It's not in my head. It already happened. And when your body believes that, when your unconscious starts believing that, that's when you succeed, right? And then here you plot out the manifesto that you already wrote in the other page, right? And you plot out the character traits, the body and style that you want, your achievements, like we said, and the mentors and the people. So this is with these ones, it's literally just copy paste of the previous document, right? You plot out the character traits, you plot out the goals, right? And the behavior. So these personal behaviors are the highs that we mentioned, which are these ones, and the unquestionable standards are these, right? So the low point that you're not going to break no matter what, okay? And then you go through the affirmation. So this is where the reprogramming actually happens. This is the most powerful thing you can do, right? So your affirmations are built on top of these things, right? So first of all, you define the habits, the character traits, the beliefs, most importantly, the beliefs, right? These are the most powerful ones, right? And then you write down the mental movie, the visualization, and the affirmations in a way that gives you a thought, it gives you an image, and it gives you an emotion, right? That's how you reprogram your subconscious. You need a paragraph that is written in a specific way, very specifically, so that it produces a thought, it helps you visualize the thing, and it produces an emotion. If you don't feel an emotion, if you don't see an image, and if you don't think about it, your subconscious will remain in the current state, okay? So this is how I did it, right? So for example, this is a mental movie. You wake up, and today is the day you finally cross the finish line. You have been running this race for 4 years. 4 goddamn fucking years. 4 years of stumbling, failing, learning, re-stumbling for the 163rd time and getting back up for the 164th. Making the conscious fucking decision to resist and overcome that animal urge to quit and give up. 99.99% of people who entered this race are gone. And only those who've been through the fucking abyss have made it through. Only those who've been through the fucking hell, who crawled out of fucking hell with one hand, have made it through. And you're one of them. So be fucking proud of yourself. Be fucking proud of defying the odds. Enjoy that shock of achievement and victory because this may be your greatest win yet. Crossing the line and reaching the other side of overcoming, you've won the longest battle. Congratulations. Write that shit. All right. So you can see right there, right? It gave you like, it gives me, at least for me, right? It gives me like a clear vision. I can imagine myself, running a race. There are hundreds of thousands of people who started this race. And at the finish line, 4 years later, only me and a couple of others have made it through, right? It was a great filter because I went through a lot of fucking suffering to get to this point where I understand all of this shit about like self-control, fucking actions, behavior change, habit change, and all of this shit, reprogramming your mind, learning about the shadow, learning about neuroscience and all of this cringe shit. It took me think about this. Well, it's not 4 years yet, right? This is the thing about, again, I repeat, you need to write it in the present tense. You need to write it in the present day. You woke up, you wake up, and today is the day, right? Now, I didn't achieve this, right? Obviously, I didn't fucking achieve this, logically speaking. But if you emotionally feel as if you've already achieved it, you get that fucking feeling, you start automatically acting in alignment with the goal, which ends up getting you the goal, right? You do it with the visualization and affirmations as well, right? This is it. The most important thing, like I said, you need to think about it. You need to see it in your mind eyes. So you close your eyes and you think about this, right? And then you need to write. You need to feel the emotion, right? And then what you do is that and then I did it for the habits as well. So this is the behavior and this is for habits, and it's the same thing, right? And then what you do, right, is that you record this entire thing, right? You record it, you read it, you look at the images, and now you play this shit every single fucking day until you achieve your goal. Until the goal is achieved, you play this shit every single fucking day. So as you can see, I am religious with this one, right? I cannot not do this, right? I have to do it. As you can see, self-engineering is the most important thing in all of this. And then you get like meditation is like the second most important, right? So these two, this is why I gave them like, if I do these two, I'm getting instantly 45 points out of 100 because I know I've been through this shit, I know the most important two things is self-engineering and meditation. Gratitude is very powerful as well, but it's nowhere near these two, right? If I am engineering my mind and my psychology to say, okay, I am this person who does these things, then I will be able to do them, right? But if I don't do this one, none of these will fucking exist, right? Same thing with meditation. If I remain grounded and in the present and focused and aware and, aware of these things, aware of these goals, aware of these things, and grounded in reality, not in my fucking head, then I will be able to do it, right? I will be able to do these things that helps me achieve my goals, right? So that's it on how you reprogram your mind and your psychology. Like I said, this is not all of it, right? The big idea here is that you understand how you actually define your beliefs, your evolved beliefs, and most importantly, understand why your beliefs turn into reality. If you want me to make a video on that, again, please let me know in the comments. And if you want me to make a video as well about the oscillations, how to define your oscillations, and how to overcome them, again, also let me know. Okay? So that's how you do it. And that's how you win at life. Life is fucking good. Life is fucking good. My life is so fucking good right now. I am so fucking happy and grateful that I get to do this shit. Okay? I'm so grateful that I get to know about this shit, more importantly. I stumbled upon the strongest, most powerful pieces of knowledge to ever exist. 100% goal achievement success rate. I've said this shit for like 5 different goals and I achieved all 5 of them, and now I'm working on the 6th one. How fucking ridiculous that is. Insane. In fucking insane. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, see you in the next one, boys.